Da 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 da. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, say, can you see? Perfect. Thank you.
The chime of the bell beckons us into sacred time. Good morning, friends. Good morning. And welcome to the First Unitarian Universalist Church of Houston, where we widen love's circle by honoring the inherent worth and dignity of all. However you arrive today, we welcome you, and we extend a heartfelt and inclusive invitation to join us in meaningful worship and service to the world. Buenos días y bienvenidos a esta comunidad donde ampliamos el círculo del amor, honrando el valor y la dignidad inherentes de todas. A warm welcome to all who join us this morning, and we hope those watching the live stream, good morning, will fill out the online attendance form and refer to the online order of service for the many announcements today. Now, please join our musicians and choir in our first hymn.
Please rise in body or spirit and join me in singing our first hymn of the day, number 1018 in your teal hymnal, Come and Go With Me. Come and go with me to that land. 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 Come and go with me to that land.
Our call to worship this morning was penned by colleague Reverend Michelle LaGrave. We come to religious community from many paths and with diverse needs. If you have come here seeking comfort, may your pain be soothed. If you have come here looking for answers, may you find new questions. If you have come here seeking purpose, may your call be awakened. If you have come here hoping to build a new way, may the path open before you. Come, let us worship together.
Celebremos compartiendo nuestras vidas, encendiendo esta luz.
Would you please join me in reading our congregational covenant? Can be found in the order of service. Love is the spirit of our congregation. Service is our prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek truth in love, and to encourage one another. Thus do we covenant.
This is the time, here comes Kinsey. This is the time when the young folks get to leave and go do some really cool stuff with Kinsey. So before you go, I just want to tell you what an important part of this church you are, how much we love you, and that you are valued here. So while you head out to go to those activities, I'm going to ask the grown-ups who are being left behind to look in their order of service and sing as you go.
As you go, may joy surround you. As you go, go in peace. Know our love is with you always. As you go, as you go.
Now, friends, is the time that we settle, feeling our spirits and bodies and hearts and minds fully arrive. All of the parts, the complicated parts, the difficult parts, the sweet parts, the griefy parts, the joyful parts. Call all of them in now. Feel all of them arrive, and feel your body begin to rest where you are in place. Feel the chair holding your body. Imagine the earth holding you. Notice anywhere in your body that you may be holding tension, and send that place ease. Notice the natural inhale and exhale of your breath. Breathe as deeply as you need to right now. And extend gratitude to the workings of your body that got you here today. In this time of increasing oppression and violence, I invite us into 5 rounds of breath, focusing on peace for the whole interconnected web of beings. Breathing in, I offer peace. Breathing out, I offer peace. Breathing in, I offer peace. Breathing out, I offer peace. Breathing in, I offer peace. Breathing out, I offer peace. Breathing in, I offer peace. Breathing out, I offer peace. Breathing in, I offer peace. Breathing out, I offer peace. In all the tumult of life, our breath is always there for us to return to remind us that we are a part of the larger heartbeat of the world. We pray now together to the spirit of interconnectedness and belonging. Spirit of life, we are weary and worried. Fill this space and our hearts with the vision of the vast horizon, a world where all beings are loved, all beings are free, all beings are peaceful. Spirit of life, we are wounded and wondering. In these times that feel like the fall apart, help us remember who we belong to, each other and our shared future. Spirit of life, we are indignant and full of rage. So move in our hands and hearts such that we live our lives as a testament to what we know is true. Be with those of us not yet ready for healing. Be with those of us awash in fear and anger. Be with those of us who are hospicing a dying world. Be with those of us who are midwifing a new world being born. Comfort us as we do the work that is only ours to do. And be with us as we breathe the spirit of life into an aching world. Peace for all beings. Peace for all beings. Peace for all beings. Amen. We pause now together to lift up that which is heavy and light on our hearts. First UU member Rosemary Loudon passed away last week. We extend condolences and care to all who loved her and who mourn her loss, including her longtime friend and caretaker, Mark Evanoff, and his partner, Karen, and the many First UU members and friends who knew and supported and loved her. Her memorial service plans are pending. We hold the Reverend Kaya Hartwood in our hearts and extend our compassion to them with the passing of their spouse and our UU now ancestor, the Reverend Meg Barnhouse, Minister Emerita at First Unitarian Universalist Church of Austin. There are upcoming memorials to celebrate Meg's life. Information about those are in the newsletter, and all are welcome. Bill Wallauer and Elizabeth Long, former members of First UU, remain in Houston following Bill's surgery and in anticipation of additional treatments. I'm happy to share some good news from Elizabeth today, who recently shared that Bill is recovering well from his recent procedures and surgeries, and they anticipate being able to return to Colorado soon. Ames, our administrative and program assistant, asks for our continued loving and healing thoughts for both of their sisters, Rachel and Katie, as they experience difficult pregnancies. We continue to hold Pandora Johnson with tender care as she navigates ongoing breast cancer treatment. We extend love and solidarity to the many organizations, local and afar, doing the work to stand up to tyranny and authoritarianism. As political theater tries to repress your work, know that we see you and we stand beside you in the fight for justice for all. And we continue holding joyful anticipation for Dr. Lanika Batiste's arrival to First UU as the Director of Music and Arts. Her first Sunday will be February 22nd. And connected to that theme, the choir would like to express their deep appreciation for Brandon Young for gifting his time, talents, I have so much more love here for you. Okay, we can clap again. His time, talent, and energy to us for the past months. And Brandon has made such a difference holding us together at a challenging time, and we express our deepest gratitudes. One more time for Brandon. There is one among us here today that is celebrating 1 year sober. Whoever you are, we see you and we're proud of you. And we are thankful and grateful, and we honor the work of the amazing students who walked out of class to protest the cruelty of ICE this week. Mi Sheberak is a prayer in the Jewish tradition for the healing of those whose names are called out by congregants. There are similar practices in the African, indigenous, and pagan traditions, and we honor these rituals by saying aloud or bringing to mind those who we would like to be held by the loving embrace of this religious community. They are a part of the great cloud of witness and memory, and we will, even if we do not know their names, hold them in our hearts. Along with all spoken aloud, let us remember the suffering and joy amid our community that we do not know, and that which is kept in the silence of our hearts. We pause in awe and wonder of the beauty, diversity, and mystery that is life. In the spirit of hope, in the spirit of compassion, and in the spirit of love, I invite each of you to enter into a time of silent prayer, meditation, or reflection.
this place. Let this moment fill with grace. This is my prayer. This is my prayer. May the sense of mystery guide us through our journey. This is my prayer. This is my prayer. This is my prayer.
Our morning offering is shared each week with an organization that shares our Unitarian Universalist values. Through our generosity, our work in the world is proliferated and our values are brought to life. This week, we are supporting the Commission on the HISD Takeover. The purpose of this commission is to address the growing lack of trust in the state takeover of the school district and school superintendent Mike Miles. This commission includes state politicians, academics, attorneys, historians, teachers, and along with student and parent representation. Today, we are lucky to welcome Jasmine Lee to speak on behalf of the commission. Jasmine is a doctoral student in the sociology department and a research assistant for the Houston Education Research Consortium. Her research interests broadly have to do with how mainstream and informal education systems can perpetuate and/or disrupt inequality. Jasmine's pronouns are she, her. Please join me in welcoming Jasmine to the pulpit. Jasmine.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you. Oh, yes. And thank you so much for, I'm going to step down, actually. Yeah. Thank you so much for having us here today. I have some remarks that I prepared. As Georgette mentioned, I'm representing the HISD Takeover Commission. Our mission is to listen to the voices of HISD stakeholders, families, students, educators in this moment to understand their lived realities and speak truth to power in what has come with the HISD takeover. This work has been really important to provide this counter-narrative as an act of resistance and freedom dreaming, not just for what schools are, but what they could be, especially with the state announcing takeovers of 4 more school districts in Texas recently. Moreover, just this Tuesday, TEA, at the direction of state leadership, put takeover on the table as a possible sanction in response to student walkouts protesting the recent brutality at ICE. This is an unprecedented use of takeover policy. This work of listening so that we can speak truth to power has become all the more difficult in the current political climate, which is changing rapidly. It has become harder for the student threatened with disciplinary action, for the educator fearing retaliation by the district leadership over job security, and for the immigrant parent wary of ICE raids to voice their truth in the current moment. This means that as the commission, we cannot just make space for people we want to hear from through listening sessions, including one we held here a few months ago, and wait for people to come to us. In fact, we've had to cancel one of our listening sessions specifically for Spanish language communities because of fear of these ICE raids. We have to meet people where they are at, where they feel safe, and where they feel comfortable to help mitigate these political risks and seek them out and go to them, which takes time, effort, and resources, especially for translational services. The most marginalized and vulnerable stakeholders in HISD are precisely the ones we need to hear from and we need to make a more intentional effort to reach them. So thank you for helping us continue this work, especially in these challenging times. Thank you.
Those in our sanctuary will find the instructions for text giving in the order of service, and those watching the live stream will see the instructions on your screen. Our regular Sunday morning offering collection invites us to weave a tapestry of love and action. We ask you to give generously. An offering will now be gratefully received.
In dedicating the offering by reading the words that can be found in your order of service. To the work of this church, which is weaving a tapestry of love and action, we dedicate our lives and these our offerings. Charlie Chaplin was an English comic actor and filmmaker and is considered one of the film industry's most important figures. His 1940 film, The Great Dictator, satirized Hitler and attacked fascism. He concluded the film with a 5-minute speech in which he looked directly into the camera and pleaded against war and fascism. Our first reading is an excerpt from that speech. I'm sorry, but I don't want to be an emperor. That's not my business. I don't want to rule or conquer anyone. I should like to help everyone, if possible. Jew, Gentile, black man, white. We all want to help one another. Human beings are like that. We want to live by each other's happiness, not by each other's misery. We don't want to hate and despise one another. In this world, there is room for everyone, and the good earth is rich and can provide for everyone. The way of life can be free and beautiful, but we have lost the way. Greed has poisoned men's souls, has barricaded the world with hate, has goose-stepped us into misery and bloodshed. We have developed speed, but we have shut ourselves in. Machinery that gives abundance has left us in want. Our knowledge has made us cynical. Our cleverness hard and unkind. We think too much and feel too little. More than machinery, we need humanity. More than cleverness, we need kindness and gentleness. Without these qualities, life will be violent and all will be lost. To those who can hear me, I say, do not despair. The misery that is now upon us is but the passing of greed, the bitterness of men who fear the way of human progress. The hate of men will pass, and dictators die, and the power they took from the people will return to the people. And so long as men die, liberty will never perish. Here ends the first reading. The second reading is The World is Completely Out of Control by John Rodell. Now, this is a conversation between an individual, read by Nina, and God, read by Georgette.
The world is completely out of control.
I know. It's such an adventure, right?
No, it's like being on a runaway train. I need to feel like I'm in control of my life.
You want to be in control?
Yeah.
You are living on a spinning wet rock of planet that resides next to a constantly exploding fireball in the middle of an ever-expanding universe that is filled with mysteries beyond your wildest imagination.
Okay.
And on this planet that you are hurtling through the great expanse in, you are coexisting with billions of other people who have free will and their own experiences that shape their perspectives and beliefs.
Yeah.
And while all of this is going on your soul is residing in a physical body that is such a miracle of delicate engineering that at any given moment could produce its last heartbeat.
Right.
What is it about your existence that you think you have control of? Come on, you know the answer to this. What can you control?
How kind I am to people?
Yep. And one other thing.
What's that?
How kind you are to yourself. Aside from that, most everything else is a bit out of your design.
That's a little bit terrifying.
Well, all adventures are, right?
Here ends the second reading.
Please rise in body or spirit and join me in singing hymn 1001, Breaths in Your Teal Hymnal. Voice is heard, 'cause the answer
I'm of an age when, periodically, the elementary school teacher would send a student, preferably one who could be trusted on their own with a clearly defined assignment, outside to pound the chalkboard erasers together to rid them of the excess dust. To very few people's surprise, I was such a student. One year, we got a vacuum cleaner with an eraser-sized attachment to suck the dust from the erasers. No more choking on a cloud of dust on the playground for me. The purchase indicated to me that our school was very special and perhaps even financially endowed. This was because I had no idea that better schools had theaters, basketball courts, and lunchrooms that weren't all in the same room. But public schools at our socioeconomic level got what they got. The only black person of note I remember learning about in my 5 years at that school was the agricultural scientist and inventor George Washington Carver, whom Time magazine in 1941 dubbed a black Leonardo. His impressive accomplishments were, at least to my memory, reduced to essentially, he invented peanut butter. I did, however, learn that Eli Whitney invented the cotton gin. Now, since back then, black African slaves could not register any invention with a patent, it has been widely speculated that Whitney either patented a slave's idea or improved upon the idea and then patented it. Now, while pondering the concept of erasing, I initially thought of the concept of expunging from the public record and consciousness the accomplishments of those who have lost favor with those in power, which of course is currently happening. If you want to read about the historic bias against acknowledging the work of women scientists and how their achievements are attributed to male colleagues, look up the Matilda effect. If you never teach a more complete history, there's less need to erase it later. If you only talk about peanut butter, but never mention James Baldwin, Madam C.J. Walker, Frederick Douglass, or the destruction of Black Wall Street, there's no need to go back and erase. Then I realized sometimes it's discounting people and ignoring their achievements, and sometimes it's literally erasing. From painting over Washington, D.C.'s Black Lives Matter mural to painting over the rainbow crosswalks that distinguish queer neighborhoods across Texas, images are being erased. The Texas governor threatens to withhold millions in state funding to cities who do not bow to his hateful directive. If only he were as concerned with providing health care to Texans as he is with so-called distracting crosswalks. While Houston Mayor John Whitmire called the removal of rainbow crosswalks in Montrose a manufactured issue, he also indicated that a legal challenge would be a battle we would lose. San Antonio Mayor Gina Ortiz Jones also appeared reluctant to push back against the order. Reacting to such responses, Pride San Antonio executive James Poindexter said, "This is why bullies become powerful, because nobody stands up to them. This is why this mentality has ripped across our nation, from the federal level down to the state level." Perhaps Texas mayors could borrow some backbone from those students. If you haven't picked up a copy of George Orwell's 1984 lately, you may want to do so. In the past, it was considered a dystopian speculative fiction novel. Some may consider it more prophetic in these times. In the novel, all of the houses and flats are equipped with two-way telescreens so that individuals may be watched or listened to at any time. Similar telescreens are found at workstations and in public places, along with hidden microphones. Of course, we're too wise to potentially allow ourselves to be monitored in such a way today. We certainly wouldn't pay hundreds of dollars to do it. Do you remember the occupation of Winston Smith, the protagonist of 1984? He worked at the Ministry of Truth, revising past editions of the Times to conform to the state's ever-changing version of history. The original documents were then destroyed. Thankfully, today, things live on via the internet. 47's most recent vile racist meme was removed after outcry, but its existence can't be denied. And he confirmed that I didn't make a mistake. As MLK's daughter, Bernice A. King stated, "You can't unpost racism." Winston Smith might have found it difficult to erase the internet of any information contradictory to Big Brother's alternate facts. You may remember Counselor to the President Kellyanne Conway coining the term alternate facts. Her renaming of such falsehoods was quickly associated with the Orwellian term doublethink, in which subjects are expected to simultaneously accept two conflicting beliefs as truth, often at odds with their own memory or sense of reality, as in trying to reconcile the administration's version of what happened with news reports, videos, and eyewitness testimony. The term, which I love, that Dr. Senyika shared last week is a mendacity problem. Appearing regularly on my social media feed is the quote from 1984. "The party told you to reject the evidence of your eyes and ears. It was their final, most essential command." Of course, the impossibility of erasing the internet of the accomplishments of people of color doesn't prevent the current administration from attempting to do that. According to NPR, the Department of Defense has been scrubbing websites for images and articles they equate with diversity, equity, and inclusion. A page about the military career of baseball great Jackie Robinson was erased and then restored after pushback, as were the stories of Navajo code talkers in World War II. Don Moynihan, a political scientist at the University of Michigan, says many pages and pictures, like on Arlington National Cemetery's website, are just gone. He says the Pentagon tells the larger story of defending America through individual tales of heroism. He asks, if you take away pictures of women, if you take away pictures of black heroes, of Asians, of Native Americans, of Latinos, then who's left? It sends a message that only white men belong. This is a quote, "We have fallen upon evil times. The world has waxed old and wicked. Politics are very corrupt. Children are no longer respectful to their elders. Each man wants to make himself conspicuous and write a book." I read that this quote by Fannin St is on a tablet in the Imperial Museum at Constantinople and is from 5000 BC. During a recent trip to take in some theater in New York with Conrad, it was shown to us on stage over and over how people have previously endured some of the same things we are witnessing today. Ragtime is set in the early 20th century and is based on the 1975 novel by E.L. Doctorow. The musical tells the story of three groups in the burgeoning United States: upper-class suburbanites in New Rochelle, Eastern European immigrants on the Lower East Side, and African Americans in Harlem. Now, Sarah is a young black woman whose fiancé is a popular pianist, Colehouse Walker. His car is destroyed by a gang of thugs, but because he is black and the hoodlums are members of a white fire squad, authorities turn a blind eye. Nothing is done. Sarah goes to a vice presidential candidate rally to ask for help in obtaining justice. J.P. Morgan, the Elon Musk of his day, points at her and shouts, "She's got a gun," and the Secret Service beat her to death. People all too often react to the directives of wealthy white men first and ask questions later, if at all. She, of course, did not have a gun. Those who killed her were dismayed that they couldn't even claim she was brandishing a cell phone, as they hadn't been invented yet. I added that part. Operation Mincemeat tells the story of a Second World War British deception operation. There's an old sitcom exclamation, "It's so crazy it just might work." This is not only a musical built on that premise, it is history of exactly that playing out. If you haven't seen the musical, you may have seen the movie with Colin Firth a few years ago. Taking place during World War II, at one point a character exclaims, "If people like us just blindly follow orders, the fascists won't need to bash the door down. They'll have already won." There was only a slight pause while the audience absorbed those words before we broke into a hearty round of applause. I initially had the idea of theming a sermon Erasure when I stumbled upon an article about Paul Robeson. I knew the name because he sang the iconic Old Man River in the 1928 West End production of Showboat, as well as in the 1936 film. I earlier made reference to Time magazine dubbing George Washington Carver the Black Leonardo, but a generation later, Paul Robeson was the quintessential Renaissance man. He excelled, to understate it, as an athlete, actor, singer, and activist. Excuse me. In 1915, Robeson won an academic scholarship to Rutgers College. He became the third African-American student ever enrolled at Rutgers, and the only one there at the time. While there, he was twice named a consensus All-American in football, lettered in 4 varsity sports, and was elected class valedictorian. After Rutgers, he played in the NFL on the weekends to support his studies at Columbia University, where he earned his Bachelor of Laws degree. Following graduation, he obtained work at a New York law firm, an apparent DEI hire. That was sarcasm. He quit when a stenographer refused to copy a memo telling him, "I never take dictation from the N-word." Since Robeson already had experience in theater, his wife encouraged him to pursue acting. He became a figure in the Harlem Renaissance with performances in Eugene O'Neill's The Emperor Jones and All God's Chillin' Got Wings. He took the stage as Othello in the Broadway production of Othello, which ran for 296 performances. Now, over 80 years later, it still holds the record for the longest-running Shakespeare play on Broadway. In 1935, Robeson met Albert Einstein when Einstein came backstage after one of his concerts. As well as a mutual passion for music, they shared a hatred for fascism and remained friends for nearly 20 years. Involvement with the political left in the 1940s, however, led to a confrontation with the House Un-American Activities Committee in the late 40s. He was blacklisted, his passport was revoked, and his career came to a halt. When he completed his autobiography in 1958, the New York Times and New York Herald Tribune chose not to review it. In its review of Christy Walsh's massive 1949 reference, College Football and All-America Review, the Los Angeles Times praised it as the most complete source of past gridiron scores, players, coaches, etc., yet published. But it failed to list Robeson as ever having played on the Rutgers team or ever having been an All-American. They attempted to erase this Renaissance man from history. While many of you may not remember Paul Robeson, more of you may remember the similar plight of Muhammad Ali. In 1967, Ali refused to be drafted into the military owing to his religious beliefs and ethical opposition to the Vietnam War, and was found guilty of draft evasion and stripped of his boxing titles. He stayed out of prison while appealing the decision to the Supreme Court, where his conviction was overturned in 1971. He did not fight for nearly 4 years and lost a period of peak performance as an athlete. Some of you may remember George Carlin's description of Ali's treatment. But it's good he's being allowed to work again. Of course, he had a strange job, beating people up. But that's his right. He could have that job. The government wanted him to change jobs. Government wanted him to kill people. Well, he thought it over and said, no, that's where I draw the line. I'll beat him up, but I don't want to kill him. And the government said, well, if you don't kill him, we're not going to let you beat him up. In his 40 years of performing, Carlin witnessed and commented on, with humor and insight, many facets of society and politics. In 1945, President Eisenhower said, get it all on record now. Get the films, get the witnesses. Because somewhere down the track of history, some jerk will get up and say that this never happened. He used a different word than jerk, but we're in church. Students at UC Berkeley are researching and recording the histories of minorities so they aren't forgotten or erased. For more than a decade, students in Maria Rodriguez Ethnic Studies, Gender and Women's Studies, and Performance Studies courses have been editing and creating Wikipedia pages focused on queer and trans people of color, replacing traditional final papers with historical documentation. Wikipedia is a public-facing project, Rodriguez has said. In a political moment where these histories are actively being erased from public view, having students work on a platform like Wikipedia becomes even more important. A little over 2 weeks ago, about 200 clergy and faith leaders of many traditions and worship communities arrived in Minneapolis for a day of witness, resistance, and action. Minneapolis is where an ICE agent was heard threatening, "You raise your voice, I erase your voice." The clergy were there to observe and document the actions of ICE, with some clergy confronting Department of Homeland Security agents, adding a visible religious presence to widespread efforts to counter the president's mass deportation campaign in the region. UU clergy were, of course, well represented, including the Reverend T.J. Fitzgerald from Dallas. The Reverend Dwayne Davis, a trustee of the United Theological Seminary of the Twin Cities, argued the federal government had made a mistake by targeting Minneapolis. "You messed up. You didn't understand what we went through," he said, referring to the activism that followed the murder of George Floyd. "We didn't do all that because we are heroes and saviors. We did it because we understand the meaning of our faith, that we are all connected. We join together. We are a part of a people, a body of humanity that is made in the image of a loving and beautiful God that wants all God's children free." Similarly, our ministerial intern, Nina Kuzniak, recently returned from a witness and solidarity pilgrimage to Palestine. She's planning an event where she'll tell stories and show photos about what she observed there. Do not miss it. If you haven't yet read her excellent article in Friday's newsletter, I highly encourage you to do so. Now, I had intended to wrap this up simply by asking that when you experience something, witness and document it so it will not be easily erased. Respect and remember the lives and stories of others. Do not give in to doublethink. Then I came across this following story, and it occurred to me, maybe we can do more than make it difficult to erase history. Maybe we can unerase history. Mount Vernon is in Posey County, Indiana. In 1878, after a rape allegation, 7 black men were lynched there. 4 of them were hung directly outside the same county courthouse that they were never allowed to enter. It was the largest lynching in state history, and yet the whole incident had been largely forgotten until 17-year-old Sophie Kloppenberg heard about it. She went to the courthouse to find a plaque or any mention at all. There was no public acknowledgement of the injustice. Erecting a reminder to a racist past isn't exactly a high priority anywhere, and Posey County is more than 95% white. But due to the dogged persistence of Sophie appealing to the county commissioners, 144 years after that mob gathered in that square, another crowd formed on that very same spot. This time to watch Sophie unveil a memorial bench and historical marker formally acknowledging the past and celebrating progress. Now, as UUs, we believe that every person has the right to flourish with inherent dignity and worthiness. That every person has the right to have their personhood, accomplishments, and story acknowledged and valued. That means we not only need to make it difficult to erase history, perhaps we can actively work to unerase history. Amen.
Please rise in body or spirit and join me in singing our last hymn, number 1028 in your teal hymnal, The Fire of Commitment.
Please join me in reading the words to extinguish the chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
I referenced the musical Ragtime earlier. Near the end of the show, Coalhouse encourages the men who have joined him to battle injustice by continuing to fight through the power of their words. He sings, "Go out and tell our story. Let it echo far and wide. Make them hear you. Make them hear you." How justice was our battle and how justice was denied. Make them hear you. Make them hear you. Go out this week and tell our story. Lift up the forgotten and erased stories of the oppressed, and unerase history before it's gone forever. Make them hear you. Go in peace, go in love, and go in justice.